Hey, what's happening, friends? Bobby Spellman here for a special introductory episode of Trumpet with Bob. I wanted to start off by just saying big thanks to all the new subscribers to the channel. I really appreciate you checking out the videos and subscribing, and I'll be sure to be putting out some new videos regularly on trumpet and improvisation, jazz music, various things like that, and I hope that they will help in your quest for musical excellence. Alright, today I wanted to make a special introductory video for all of you brave souls out there who've just picked up your first trumpet and are ready to take the plunge into the endlessly exciting and sometimes dangerous world of trumpet playing. Before we get started, come here, I want to tell you something. I want to let you know I'm proud of you. You picked the best instrument, alright? You're going to have some fun. There will be some challenges along the way, but as long as you got a little bit of patience and, some resilience, some tenacity in there, you're going to have a great time. So, without further ado, I want to get into some of the history of the instrument, how the parts operate, and different ways that you can drive this machine as you start to get started, as you get yourself introduced to the world of playing the trumpet. Trumpet has been around in different forms since 1500 BC. Originally, it was used as a signaling instrument for war or hunting or religious ceremonies. Early trumpets might have looked something like this conch shell, or this ram's horn. But since then, the trumpet has been made out of brass tubing. Trumpet's been used in music since the late 14th and early 15th century, and valves were added in the 1830s in order to allow for the trumpet to play chromatically. Nowadays, the trumpet can be found in many, many different styles of music, from classical and jazz to pop, rock, funk, Afrobeat, reggae, and Balkan brass music. Trumpet is used throughout the world in many different styles of music, and it is perhaps the most majestic of all instruments. Alright, quick word of caution to the chronically lazy or people who are looking for an instant gratification instrument. Trumpet is hard. It can be difficult. It's a challenging instrument. There's a lot involved. And I think the challenges of the instrument were best summed up by Dizzy Gillespie when he said, "Some days you get up and put the horn to your chops and it sounds pretty good and you win. Some days you try and nothing works and the horn wins. This goes on and then you die and the horn wins." So before we get started, if you're looking for an instrument that's going to be easy to pick up quickly and isn't going to give you too hard a time, I might recommend picking up the cowbell or perhaps the guitar. But if you've got a little patience and some tenacity and you're ready to take on the challenge of playing a brass instrument, I think you're in the right place. You're going to have a lot of fun learning how to play the trumpet. All right, let's get started with the parts of the trumpet. Alright, here we have your standard B-flat trumpet. Trumpets can come in a number of different keys, including B-flat and C, but by far the most common is the B-flat trumpet. Now, over here on the left, we see the mouthpiece. The mouthpiece is an independent part of the instrument, comes in and out easily. Mouthpiece is called the mouthpiece because it's the piece that touches your mouth. Now, you could put your mouth on any of the other parts of the trumpet, but it is not advised. The mouthpiece is the part that is designated to go on your mouth and enable you to buzz into the instrument. The mouthpiece leads into the lead pipe. Now, the lead pipe leads to the tuning slide. The tuning slide is over here. It moves back and forth. The farther in it is, the higher the pitch. The farther out, the lower the pitch. This is going to enable you to get the instrument in tune and to fine-tune the instrument's intonation. You can check out my other video on various slides and intonation to get a sense for how to use that. Now, here we have the water key or the spit valve, depending on how you want to say it. Now, this enables you to get the condensation and water and spit out of the instrument. You open that up, blow through the instrument, you're going to let the water out anytime you get an accumulation of water in the tuning slide. So, from the tuning slide, we move past the spit valve. Now we get the valve casings. We have 3 valves on the trumpet, you will see. The valves are ordered numerically 1, 2, and 3. The first valve is closest to the mouthpiece. The third valve is closest to the bell. So whenever you see a fingering chart, 1, 2, and 3. Those are going to be the 3 valves that you use. The valves are contained within this valve casing. And coming off of the valve casing, we have 3 slides. We have the third valve slide down here. The third valve slide can be controlled by this ring, and this can be moved in and out in order to control the intonation of your low Ds and C sharps. You can check out my other video on the third valve slide to get a sense for how to use that. So you got your third valve slide, you have your second valve slide or your second valve crook. Now this doesn't move around at all, but just like all the other tubes here, it enables you to open up the instrument to varying degrees in order to change the pitch of the instrument and get the 12 notes of the chromatic scale. So we have our third valve slide attached to the third valve, the second valve slide, and finally the first valve slide, which at times will also include a first valve ring here so that you're able to move it around. This particular instrument is a Martin Committee trumpet built between 1945 and 1946, so I do not have a ring on my first valve slide, but I do have a slide here. So this is the first valve slide, second valve crook, third valve slide over here, tuning slide. Now all of this, as you blow air through the mouthpiece, into the lead pipe, through the tuning slide, through the various valves and all of the tubes attached, it will eventually make its way through the instrument all the way out here to the bell. The bell is called a bell, it is shaped like a bell, and this enables the instrument to bring out some of the overtones that you can get, and it makes it a beautiful sonorous ringing tone. All right, so you're blowing air through the mouthpiece, through the lead pipe, in through the tuning slide, down through here, through all the valves, through the various tubes, out through the bell, and into the ears of the adoring public. All right, now that you've got the parts of the trumpet, we're going to talk about putting the trumpet together. There's only two pieces when you take it out of the case, the trumpet and the mouthpiece. The mouthpiece goes right in the lead pipe like this, and that's all. You don't have to jam it in there. You can just lightly put it in there. If you want to, you can give it a little twist just to keep it in there, but it's not going anyplace. Big trick is you don't have to jam it in there. It's going to stay, all right? If you jam it in there, sometimes it can get stuck, and then you got to get a mouthpiece puller to pull it out. So all it is, take the mouthpiece, boop, put it right in there, you're good to go. All right, now that the trumpet is assembled, let's talk about how to hold the trumpet. You always want to grip the trumpet with your left hand and push the buttons down with your right hand. Doesn't matter whether you're left-handed or right-handed, you're going to hold the trumpet in your left hand and push the buttons with your right hand. The way that you want to hold on to this is you see the valve casing here. You're going to take your hand and you're going to grip the valve casing with your thumb and these first two fingers. All right, the trumpet's going to rest right on your first finger, just like that. Now, your ring finger is going to go in the ring attached to your third valve slide. That's going to enable you to move your third valve slide around. You can talk about that later. There's some videos that you can check out that we've done that incorporate the third and first valve slides. But for now, you want to make sure that your ring finger is in there. Now, the big question is, now you've got a handle on it. You've got your thumb here, you've got your two fingers here, you've got your ring finger in the ring, just like this, all right? You're gripping the trumpet. You want to have full control of the instrument. All right, once you got a good grip on the instrument, the big question is, what do you do with this pinky finger? All right, as long as you've got a good handle on the instrument, this pinky finger can kind of go rogue. All right, it's not so important. Now, I like to put it on the underneath of the valve casing, right underneath the third valve slide, just to give myself a little extra hold on it. All right, it's just the most comfortable place for me to put it, but it can also just hang out over here, and you're going to be good to go. As long as you can move that third valve slide with your ring finger and you've got a good grip on it with the rest of your fingers, you're going to be good to go. Now let's talk about your right hand. Right hand, you want to push down the buttons with the tips of your fingers. It always helps to keep your fingers curled on top of the buttons because that's going to give you a lot more dexterity later on. Some people will end up getting into the habit of playing it with the pads of their fingers like this, but ultimately it's going to give you a little bit less speed and dexterity once you start to get into some crazy bebop stuff. So you want to make sure that you're pushing the buttons down with the tips of your fingers just like this, keeping them straight over the valves. Now your hand is going to be perpendicular to the instrument, just like this. That gives you the opportunity to easily push the valves down. I like to keep my thumb right on the end of these valve casings, right here. Can you see that? Bam! That just gives me a little bit of an opportunity to use hand vibrato and things of that nature. It just gives me a little extra grip on it, but the most important thing is that your fingers are right on top of the valves. Now, you've got a pinky finger ring right here. The main purpose of that ring is to allow you to hold the trumpet just with your right hand in case you have to turn pages or use a plunger mute, various things like that, with your left hand. However, you don't need to keep your pinky in there all the time, and sometimes it actually helps to take it out and let it just fly around while you are pushing the buttons down. So, no need to use this pinky ring unless you're using it for specific purposes. You can if you want, if it's comfortable, but once again, the most important thing is that you're keeping your fingers straight over the buttons at a curled kind of position like this, so that you can easily get to the buttons without difficulty when you start playing some really fast, complicated music. All right, now that you've got a good handle on the instrument, we're going to talk about what can be the trickiest part of beginning to play the trumpet, and that is forming an embouchure and creating the buzz. Your embouchure on a trumpet is the position of your lips on which the mouthpiece rests. The goal is to try to get the mouthpiece as centered as possible on your lips. So you want it to be in the middle if possible. Now, the part of playing the trumpet that's a little tricky is that everybody's dental structure is a little bit different. So you may find that it's not in the exact center of your lips. You may find that it may be more comfortable to be in a slightly different place if your teeth require that it be in a different place. But ideally, you want the instrument to be as centered on your mouth as possible. The other thing that you want to remember is the mouthpiece should go around this pink part of your lips. This is called the vermilion zone. All right? So if you have your lips like this, to create the buzz, you want to make sure that the mouthpiece goes over the top and over the bottom of that vermilion zone. That's going to give you a lot more muscle control later on, all right? So here's this little mouthpiece guide that I've got here, all right? This gives you an idea. You want it right centered in the middle of your face if possible, all right? That's going to give you most control over the instrument. So often I like to start with the embouchure by saying all right, this gets your mouth together in this way. This is the way that you want it, and then you're going to place the mouthpiece in the center of your face like this. See that? Right over the vermilion zone. All right, once you've got the mouthpiece centered on your face, it's time to create the buzz. Buzzing on the trumpet without the mouthpiece or the trumpet sounds like this. That's what you got. It's just about blowing air through your lips to create that kind of raspberry sound. All right, once you apply the trumpet, you're going to get a beautiful sound. Now, in the beginning, here's the trickiest thing. Here's the mistake that everybody makes, is when you're buzzing, everybody tries to overbuzz. They squeeze their lips together as hard as they can to try to get that buzz out. You don't have to overdo it. Once you put the mouthpiece on your face, if you've got your embouchure straight, you've got the mouthpiece right in the center of your lips, just letting the air out of your lungs is going to really allow your lips to vibrate. Your lips want to vibrate in the mouthpiece. The mouthpiece is made to allow your lips to vibrate within the mouthpiece. So be aware that you're going to create that buzz sound, but don't feel like you have to work too hard. Just let the trumpet do the job and really just try to blow air into that mouthpiece. It also may be helpful to just take the mouthpiece out of the trumpet and practice buzzing right into the mouthpiece. In the beginning, that can be a useful exercise to just try to get used to creating that buzzing sound into the mouthpiece. Ultimately, when you put that mouthpiece on a trumpet, the trumpet is going to add additional resistance, so you don't have to work very hard to create the buzz. You're just going to let the air out of your lungs and through your lips, and the resistance of the trumpet plus your embouchure is going to allow your lips to vibrate freely. Now, when you first start playing the trumpet, you're going to notice that you get one of three notes. Either a low C, a G, or a high C. Different trumpet players find it easy to play one of these three notes depending on the individual circumstance. And it doesn't matter where you start, as long as in the beginning, you're just focusing on trying to create that buzz, let the air out of your lungs, and to try to create a beautiful tone on the instrument. As you go, no matter whether you're starting on the low C, the G, or the high C, you can start to incorporate different fingerings and try to find the different notes of the C major scale and ultimately the 12 notes of the chromatic scale. All right, I just want to do a quick note on transposition. The B-flat trumpet, which is the most common kind of trumpet, is a transposing instrument. That means that what we call a C on the trumpet is really a B-flat on piano, guitar, and other concert pitch instruments. In order to transpose for the trumpet, you're always going to move a note up a whole step from where it is on piano, guitar, or other concert pitch instruments. So a B-flat on the piano becomes a C on the trumpet, A C on the piano becomes a D on the trumpet. An E on the piano becomes an F sharp on the trumpet. Everything is going to be moved up a whole step. So if you're used to playing the guitar or the piano, or you're playing with other musicians who are playing concert pitch instruments, you may notice that the trumpet is in a different key, but all you have to do is transpose for the instrument and you're going to be good to go. All right, now that you've got a good grip on the instrument, you've got your fingers working the buttons, you've got the mouthpiece set in the center of your mouth, and you're working on that buzz, your job now is just to keep working at it. It takes a little patience at first to get a consistent sound on the instrument, but if you keep at it, you're going to find that very quickly your lips and your face and all of your muscles and your air learn how to really find the center of that mouthpiece and let your lips vibrate freely. Sometimes it takes a couple of weeks of just practicing those notes, practicing buzzing and practicing playing into the instrument in order to get a consistent tone. But with some practice, you're going to find, just like all of my students in the past, that you are able to create a beautiful sound on the trumpet. So be sure to be patient with yourself and really just try to put the time in. Make sure to keep that horn on your face, try to do it every day, get to the trumpet, and you're going to find very quickly that you can create a beautiful sound, and you're going to be off to the races creating beautiful music on the trumpet. All right, gang, thanks for checking out this video. Be sure to check out some of our other videos on the mechanics of the instrument and some musical concepts. And we'll see you on the next one. Happy practicing! All right, folks, thanks so much for checking out this video. If you found it useful or informative or just entertaining, be sure to give us a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment if you got any questions or if this video helped you out, or be sure to send it along to any of your trumpet playing friends. We're currently offering lessons online, and you can visit our website at www.ridgewoodschoolofmusic.com. We're also offering lessons in person in the Brooklyn, Queens, and greater New York City area. Be sure to send us a message and we'll get back to you just as soon as we can. You can also follow me, Bobby Spellman, on Instagram at @BobSpellman, on Facebook at Bobby Spellman Music, or on Twitter at Bobby Spellman for some more trumpet fun. Lastly, if you found this video useful and you'd like to give a little donation to the cause, you can find us on Venmo at Ridgewood Music. All tips will go to the creation of more videos like this one, and we really appreciate it. Thanks a lot, gang. We'll see you on the next one, and happy practicing.